Welcome to Legacy Patterns, the show where people who are faith-minded, desire more, and live a better and extraordinary life come to learn. Now, today we're in part 5 of the Trapped in the Negatives, 11 Keys to Overcome Adversity and Achieve Success. All right? Now, today we are in the Law of Attraction key. And please don't misunderstand me, okay? When I'm talking about the Law of Attraction, I'm not talking about no New Age nonsense, vibes of the universe and stuff like that. In fact, to prove that, I'm going to be reading a lot more scriptures than what I would normally do on a podcast, okay? So, let's go ahead and get down to the nitty-gritty. You may see my nose in the scriptures. I ask God to please bear with me since I'm legally blind. Our first reference is in the Book of Mormon. I know this could be a turnoff to some people, but it talks about the law of agency and intentionality. Okay? So we're going to go to 2 Nephi chapter 2, verse 26. Now, there was a verse before it that I memorized in Spanish, and I'm going to do Spanish first, and then English for the 25th verse, okay? And then I'll go into the verse that we're talking about ahead. And I hope you're ready for it, because let me tell you something. What I'm about to teach you is just pure gold, okay? We're getting very close to master key level, okay? Now, verse 25, I'm going to say it in Spanish first, and then English, okay? Hope you're ready. Adam cayó para que los hombres existen. Y existen los hombres para que tengan gozo. Adam fell that men might be, and men are that they might have joy. And let me tell you something. That verse, in and of itself, has given me more comfort than a lot of things has for me. So now I'm going to read verse 26, and that's going to bear with me. And the Messiah cometh in the fullness of time, that he may redeem the children of men from the fall. And because that they are redeemed from the fall, they have become free forever, knowing good from evil, to act for themselves and not to be acted upon, save it be by the punishment of the law at the great and last day, according to the commandments which God hath given. Alright, now before I go any further, I want to say I want to shout out to a business in the Permian Basin area. There's going to be two I'm going to be promoting. The first one is Faith Fades, okay? It's in the middle of Odessa. I don't know the exact location. You can Google it. Go down there, get your hair cut. It's a wonderful little barber shop. They play some good Christian rap. Ask for Ray. Tell him Jimmy sent you, okay? Now, so what I'm trying to say here is, in the law of attraction, we need to recognize agency and intentionality. And by agency, I mean your freedom of choice. But that being said, many people, wrongfully become a part of my faith, and they say, well, agency means choose freedom of choice. That means I can choose to do whatever I want. I don't think that God's Word talks about that kind of freedom. I don't think it does, okay? Now, Jesus taught about another law, and I looked at my talking points before, and I really didn't know. So we're going to get first into the teachings of Solomon. It's actually part of my today's reading I had in Proverbs. So I ask you to bear with me. We're going to go Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Because if we're going to allow our Jesus put in this law, then it's important also to not forget that his law, his higher law in the in the New Testament is an answer to in many ways wisdom and law in the Old Testament, because we all know that the 613 commandments, the 613 mitzvot, we couldn't keep it all, and that's why Jesus came. But at the same time, I feel like I need to go ahead. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says this: "For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all the flesh." Wait, that's the wrong verse. Okay, here. "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." You know, and really what that means is just, it's the law. It's the law of due diligence. I don't know what happened to my light. It's supposed to be better than this. Oh well. There. It's supposed to dim like that. Okay, so now we go over to Mark chapter 11. You may think, well, what are we doing this for? Because if we're going to understand this law, we need to get over to the teachings of Jesus, right? Good. I hope you see that, because when Jesus came, he set the higher law, and the heart of that really is the law, an element of the law of attraction here. Pages like to stick together in my Bible. Verse 24. "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Okay, that's the law of faith into action. You can say, I have faith, and with that faith, I can attract whether I feel like God calls me to do, be, and have. But faith without action, I'm just being honest with you. Faith without action, that's not faith. That's not faith. Okay? And so now, with that, I'm going to take another break, another sponsorship. You know, God wants us to be well. And with that, He designed our bodies to heal. I think it can be done in two parts here. We got to be careful what we put on our fork. But sometimes with our busy lifestyles, we don't always do that. I want you to go over, if you live in the middle of Odessa area, and even if you get a chance to come down here, stop over to the Resnick Focus Center. Michael Resnick is a good friend of mine. We have a variety of testing and treatment methods, help deal with inflammation and a variety of things. It's not a cure-all, but I'll tell you something. I've noticed a huge difference since I started receiving my testing and supplements. That's what's made all the difference in the world. All right, now. So now we go to the third law. So, well, let's go back. The Resnick Focus Center is on Grandview in Odessa, Texas. We'd love for you to drop by if you're ever in the area. They do the nutritional frontier supplements. They're good. I believe in what they've done for me. All right, so now we go to the law of sowing and reaping. So now we get over to the teachings of Paul. You're like, are you serious? Yes. Why not? Because if we get up to the teachings of Paul, we can start teaching what I see is truth. Alright, so let's go over to Galatians. And it's going to be chapter 6, verse 7. Okay? Because part of that, the law of sowing and reaping, we get out, we manifest and get out what we put in. Okay, so verse 7. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall reap. I kind of knew that anyway. But let's get to the heart of sowing and reaping. What does it mean? Deceit and mocking is not going to help you. Okay? What we're talking about is accountability, agency, and doing good works. And I can hear some of you that are not from my tradition. You're like, oh boy, Jimmy, good works? What is this? Why don't you tell me what is this thing about this good works thing? Are you trying to say we can earn our way into heaven? No, not without the Lord. But at the same time, He gave us laws. And these are the elements of the law of attraction, if you will. And if you tap into the law of sowing and reaping, you get out what you put in, you get what you attract. And then we go to the final law. Well, okay, while we're in sowing and reaping, let's talk about attraction marketing. Attraction marketing is where you keep to the integrity of your brand. You don't use pushy sales tactics. Because a lot of people, they go into business and they think that by pushy sales tactics, they can succeed in business. I found that people, if they want to buy your product, they want to see the integrity of who you are. And it goes to law number 4, which is the law of magnetism. You attract who you are by character, magnetism of character. You know, Dr. John C. Maxwell, he said one thing that matters. And as far as I'm concerned, and I'm dating myself here, it was part of the 1994 campaign slogan, which is character counts. Now, that being said, this show is not a partisan show. I don't mean for it to be that way, and it's not going to be that way. But Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. So our character goes to our thoughts and our intentions of the heart. So the law of attraction goes back to full circle. Our character, magnetism of character. Are we using our agency? Are we using our agency to be intentional and making a difference? Or are we just using begging through force, meaning forcing others to be acted upon? When really it comes down to the heart. It comes down to the heart. And some people, you know, you probably seen this and you're probably going to tune out, but please don't. Because what I'm trying to teach here is a good core principle. Now with that, I hope you enjoy watching. If you like, please subscribe, become a part of Legacy Patterns. It's Jimi Hendrix saying until next time. Don't just sit there and take it. Go out there and build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. Please share this with Mamacita, Papacita, Papacito y todo. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, choose, act, and pursue happiness. God bless you. Remember this from the bottom of my heart. Te amo. I love you. I really, 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 really love you. God bless you, and please go out there and have a blessed day. Remember, I love you.